Berkshire Senior TV. For this edition, the title is Music is Ageless. I'm Roger Suters. I'll be co-hosting with Tracy Wilson of the Berkshire Music School, and Mike Schiffer, our musical pianist, guest, and our guest drummer, DiNicola. And Tracy, the headline I read recently in a newspaper that I read an article you had written. It was music lessons aren't just for kids. What's that all about?
That's right. That was the article that I wrote for the Berkshire Senior magazine, a newspaper. And we're finding many adults coming back to the music school to take lessons. Maybe they've let it go for a number of years and they're coming back. Or a lot of people are taking music lessons because they've always wanted to, and now they have time to do it, and they have a little bit more income that they can come and take a piano lesson over lunchtime, or much more flexibility with their hours. But also, there's been so much research out there that talks about how music is really good for the brain, how it goes between both hemispheres. It can help with improved memory, improved physical health, improved mental health, greater socialization. So we're seeing that in so many of our adult students. About 20% of our student body right now are adults. It's very interesting.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm actually very excited to be here because you're all family, Berkshire Music School family. Because Dick, you've been performing with a lot of my faculty members on and off, and that's wonderful. And Roger, it's great to have you on the board of the Berkshire Music School and to be playing in the school orchestra and being at my side as I play cello. And then Mike, you have been on the faculty at the music schools for 20 years, so I'm really honored to be standing in your midst. So I wanted to just quickly ask everybody, I'll start with you, Roger, is how young are you?
Well, I'm recently 72.
Okay. Right. And how did you get into music, or how did you get back into music? It's a very interesting story to me.
Well, I started in 1957. I acquired this instrument and played in high school and into college. And as I began my corporate career, I put the instrument aside for 38 years. My son got me back into playing again with Mike's help. Mike also books music at Castle Street Cafe, and I've been playing for the last several years. And in that time, I've really learned a new instrument, and that's the classical version of the bass, the double bass.
That's right. You were our star in the Carnival of the Animals.
That's with the Berkshire Music School string ensemble. Yes. And so that's been a lot of fun. I feel like a kid again.
That's great. Now, Mike, how young are you?
I'm 85 and still trying to play.
You sound fantastic. And you have told me that you feel better now at 85 than you even did when you were 70. And I think some of that must be because of your music making and the people you make music with and the circles that you go in. Would you agree with that?
Well, I guess so. The medical profession helped a little bit. I'm sort of a semi-biotic guy by now. Everything's been replaced that can be replaced, but I'm feeling much better than I used to. And I'm even happy to be able to walk and stand up, which were things I couldn't do 5 or 6 years ago.
Fantastic. So how young are you?
76.
76.
Yes.
And have you been making music your whole life?
Just about as far back as I can remember.
Really? Okay.
I've enjoyed it so much, and through the years got to meet some great people, great musicians, and very fortunate that it's been a good ride.
Great. Well, thank you for being a part of the school family, playing with our faculty members, and I think we should hear another tune.
Blue Bossa.
What would you like to do?
This is Blue Bossa, written in 1961, and it kind of signaled the coming of age of bossa nova as the Brazilian form of music was introduced to the United States. So I'm going to count it off, Maestro.
much. Wow. One of the things that we talked about in the newspaper article about Music is Ageless was based on a TED Talk, and these are very popular on the radio at this point. And the article was about how playing a musical instrument affects your brain. And it had all kinds of studies about how it crosses both hemispheres of the brain. It improves your memory, your cognitive skills, your physical strength. And people can actually Google on that what playing a musical instrument does to your brains, and they can see all of this information about what it does to your brain. They say listening to music is very powerful for your brain, but even more so is when you play an instrument, things just explode inside your brain. So we really, we just think it's such a wonderful benefit to be studying music at the music school or anywhere. And Dick, you had an interesting story for me. I asked you if you felt anything good out of playing your musical instrument, how it benefited your health, and you told me.
I believe that, you know, stress-wise, it's a great stress reliever, and plus through the years, you know, your control of your limbs, you know, your exercise-wise, you know, you're doing bass drums, you're doing, all your limbs are working.
Yeah.
And also your brain, and especially if you're say we're playing with a big band or something, even a small group too, where you have to read a lot of the charts, and you have to stay on top of things, and it's kind of forces you to stay awake.
Yes, absolutely. And especially the three of you, Mike and Roger and Dick, you go to these gigs and you're playing with people you might have not played with before or you haven't seen in a while. You get together and say, hey, let's just run these charts, and you've got to be so sharp. And then it's not like a 30-minute lesson. It's a 3-hour gig, and it's usually at night and late into the night, and I'm usually in bed by 9, and you guys are just rolling out right there. So, so Roger, you said that you feel like the music has kept you young, or you feel better than ever, and
Well, it's like being a kid all over again. There are many activities that are successful strategies in dealing with the effects of aging. We can talk about playing cards, bridge, playing chess, Sudoku, reading, taking courses,
right.
and learning a new language. And music kind of fits right in there as well, because there is a universal language that's learned within music, Western music at least, so that we three musicians who have never played together before, the three of us, are able to communicate together fairly seamlessly.
Right.
And
I've been very impressed with that. So, Mike, I'm going to ask you, excuse me here, watching you warm up today with these other two gentlemen, that you didn't even have to really talk to each other. You were doing, I called it, you were telepathizing with each other. How do you gain that kind of skill? I was very impressed with that.
Well, mental telepathy is part of what we do as musicians, but that's a good simile, a good metaphor. I don't know how we do it, and I don't know if anybody can explain it. If you've worked together with a group for 10 or 20 years, especially if you meet once a week to play, you achieve a different kind of communication than we're able to do, and I've seen that happen. There aren't many groups that can stay together that long, but maybe some listeners have heard the Modern Jazz Quartet, who were together for over 25 years, and with just one change in personnel, those guys didn't even have to say what they were going to play. They sort of knew. You talk about mental telepathy.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So do we have another tune that you want to play?
Sure, It Had to Be You. And for those listeners who are curious, it's in the key of G. And this was first put together on Broadway in 1924 and has been popularized in many movies, more recently When Harry Met Sally.